Hi, I'm ReRe and welcome to the YarnOverHook podcast, Exploration Crochet. I am so excited you're here with me today. This is where we get to dive into the fascinating world of crochet, its history, its creativity, and the way it touches our lives in the most surprising ways. Today, I wanted to start at the very beginning with a simple question. Why crochet? For me, that story starts when I was 9 years old. One day, my best friend was wearing a pretty little hair tie, and I thought it was the cutest thing. Her mother turned to me and said, "You know what? I can show you how to make one." And with 3 stitches and 1 wearable under my belt, I had become a crocheter. So what is it about crochet that makes it so appealing? Why are so many people picking up yarn and hooks these days? In this episode, we're going to explore some of the biggest reasons, from creativity to mental health benefits to community and beyond. So stay tuned. Let's start with one of the biggest reasons. The joy of making something completely unique. Think about it. Crochet opens up an entire world of possibilities. You can start with the classics like scarves and blankets, then branch out into hats, toys, home decor, or even statement pieces like shawls or wearables. And I mean skirts, dresses, pants. The sky's the limit. The beauty is every choice you make, your yarn, your color palette, the texture of your stitches, turns the project into something only you could have created. No two crocheters ever make the exact same project. And that's part of the magic. Crochet is one of those things that actually grows with you. A beginner might start with a simple granny square or a basic scarf, celebrating that first row of even stitches and smooth tension. But the more you practice, the more doors open. Suddenly, you're tackling lace shawls and intricate motifs, stitch combinations a beginner couldn't even imagine, or experimenting with your own designs. The learning curve becomes a creative journey. Each project building on the last, showing you just how much you've learned. And the best part, there's no finish line. You can never run out of new stitches, techniques, or styles to explore. Crochet has this endless capacity to surprise you. Each piece isn't just something to wear or use, it's a reflection of your creativity, your patience, and your personality. All of those things woven right into the fabric. The next reason people fall in love with crochet, it can be a soothing escape. Have you ever had one of those days where your brain just feels overloaded, like you're juggling 1,000 thoughts at once and you are desperately in need of a reset? That's where crochet can come in. For many people, it's become a mindful practice, almost like meditation. There's something about the calming rhythm of each stitch, the gentle repetition, the feel of the yarn moving through your fingers. It keeps your hands busy but allows your mind to reset. It's that sweet spot where you're doing just enough to stay engaged, but not so much that it feels like work. And science actually backs this up. Studies show that crafting activities like crochet can reduce the production of the body's stress hormone. That means you're not just imagining that peaceful feeling, you are literally lowering your stress level. It also gives your brain a much needed break from the constant pull of screens, pings, and notifications. Instead of scrolling, you're stitching and creating something soft, something tangible, something real. Personally, I love a good afternoon of crochet and chill. Sometimes my mind wanders to the problem solving or daydreaming, and sometimes I just let everything go completely. Either way, I walk away with a project in progress and a sense of calm that feels like I've hit a reset button on my whole day. And that's the beauty of crochet as an escape. You're not just zoning out, you're creating something meaningful while giving your brain and the world a break. Now let's talk about gifts. Most of us can probably remember the sense of pride and excitement we felt as kids when we gave someone something we made with our own hands. Maybe it was a drawing, or a friendship bracelet, or even a lopsided craft project from school. But the joy came from knowing, I made this for you. And that feeling never really goes away. In today's world of 2-day shipping and endless Amazon boxes, there's just something powerful about giving a handmade item. Something that couldn't be mass produced, something that carries a piece of the maker with it. Of course, handmade gifts mean the most when they're given to people who truly appreciate them. The ones who understand that a crocheted hat or a blanket is so much more than just yarn. When you give a baby blanket, a pair of mittens, or something simple like a set of coasters, you're not just giving a finished object. You're giving your time, your patience, your creativity, and your love. Each stitch says, I thought of you while I was making this. And often those gifts last far beyond the moment. I mean, think about it. How many of us still have a blanket, a doily, or as in my family's case, scrubbies? Anything, something made by a grandmother, a family friend, or a little girl whose mom decided she should make that year's Christmas gift. Those pieces aren't just functional. They carry stories. They remind us of the person who made them, their hands, their care, maybe even the season of life when they were created. They're more than stitches. They're threads of memory, carrying love forward from one generation, one year to the next. That's the beauty of crochet as gift giving. It's not just handmade, it's heart made. A fourth reason crochet is appealing? It isn't just creative. It can be therapeutic too. On the physical side, many people with arthritis or stiffness in their hands actually find that crochet helps keep their fingers moving and their joints more flexible. Like my mother used to say, motion is lotion. No, it's not a cure, but the gentle motion of holding the yarn and making stitches acts almost like a low-impact exercise for the hands. Over time, that steady movement can help maintain strength and dexterity. On the mental side, the benefits can be just as powerful. For those dealing with anxiety, depression, or as I mentioned before, just everyday stress, crochet offers a way to slow down and anchor yourself in the present moment. The rhythm of each stitch becomes grounding, small, repeatable action that gives your brain a place to rest. That sense of focus can push out racing thoughts or worries, creating space for calm. There's also patience and concentration built right into the craft. A big project teaches you persistence, sticking with something row after row, even when it takes days or weeks to finish. And that sense of accomplishment when you've completed a piece, it can be a huge boost to self-confidence. Researchers have even found that fiber arts like crochet and knitting can lower blood pressure, reduce cortisol levels, and activate the brain in ways similar to meditation. It's a gentle but powerful tool for wellness, helping both the body and the mind. And maybe that's one of the best kept secrets about crochet. It looks like a hobby, but for so many, it's really therapy. And here's one of my favorite parts: the community. Crochet is truly global. No matter where you are in the world, chances are there's somebody nearby who's just as passionate about yarn and stitches as you are. You might find it in something as simple as a local stitching group that meets up at a cafe, or, as in my case, a Panera. I'm shouting you out, snarky stitchers. It's in those spaces that laughter flows as easily as the yarn. Or you might experience it in an online forum or social media group like YarnOverHook, with thousands of crocheters sharing patterns and tips and encouragement across different time zones. It's amazing how this craft connects people who might otherwise have never met. And the support? It's incredible. You meet like-minded makers who cheer you on when you're tackling your first sweater, celebrate your finished projects, and even commiserate when you have to frog half a blanket. You can jump into shared projects, like crochet-alongs, where everyone works on the same pattern at the same time, comparing notes and cheering each other through. Or you can join charity events, where a group of crocheters come together and make hats for preemies, blankets for shelters, or even yarn bomb a tree in your neighborhood just to spread joy. And last, but by no means least, there are the teachers, the seasoned experts who love nothing more than passing on their knowledge. Crochet is a tradition that thrives on sharing. That generosity of spirit, the willingness to help someone master a tricky stitch or decode a confusing pattern. It's all part of what makes this community so very special. Honestly, crochet has one of the most welcoming, generous, and supportive communities. It's not just about yarn and hooks. It's about friendship, encouragement, and connection. Finally, let's touch on sustainability. Crochet has this beautiful way of slowing us down and making us more mindful about what we create and consume. Instead of fast fashion or disposable items, crochet gives you the ability to make things that last, things that reduce waste, and things that give you more control over your wardrobe, your home, and your carbon footprint. Eco-friendly yarns are a great example. Natural fibers like cotton, wool, linen, hemp, or bamboo aren't just lovely to work with, they're biodegradable and renewable. And many yarn companies are now focusing on sustainable production, recycled fibers, and even natural dyes. And what you make matters too. With crochet, you can swap out single-use items for handmade reusable ones. Shopping bags instead of single-use plastic, dishcloths instead of paper towels, face scrubbies instead of cotton pads. It's practical, it's eco-friendly, and it feels good knowing your craft is helping reduce waste. Then there's upcycling. Old t-shirts can be cut into strips and turned into t-shirt yarn, perfect for rugs, baskets, or steady bags. Worn out jeans, you can cut them into long strips and crochet them into mats or storage bins. Even sweaters that have seen better days can be unraveled for their yarn and reborn into something new. You can even refresh a tired garment by adding a crochet trim or edging or some sort of patchwork detail, giving it a second life instead of throwing it away. And of course, crochet lets you build a wardrobe that's uniquely you. Garments full of color, full of texture, and full of personal style. When you make something by hand, you treasure it more, and that means you're less likely to discard it after a season. Crochet can become a quiet rebellion against throwaway culture. So, there you have it. Crochet has creativity, relaxation, gift giving, therapy, community, and even sustainability. So, why crochet? My personal why still goes all the way back to that little girl and that oh so cute hair tie. And also to Mrs. Mary Thorpe, who was kind enough to share her knowledge with me. Crochet at its heart isn't just about making things, it's about connection. I share that connection with Tuan. When we're together, it makes the time so much more special. I share it with my daughter. Nothing excites me more than when we get together and speak crochet. I share it with my sons, both of whom get a kick out of hearing me talk about what I'm working on or what I saw or did at a regional fiber fest. For me, crochet is magical. It's musical. And as a math nerd, it's mathematical. But above all, it's just deeply personal. So what about you? Did you see yourself in any of these reasons? What was it about crochet that hooked you? Or if you're not hooked yet, what is it about crochet that keeps you away? I'd love to hear your story. Drop me a note in the comments or connect with me on social media. Thanks so much for joining me today on Exploration Crochet. Don't forget to subscribe so you can never miss an episode. Until next time, keep those hooks moving and happy stitching.